In a stunning move that has sent shockwaves through the international sports world, the International Olympic Committee (IOC) has officially suspended all sports events in Indonesia after the country refused to issue visas to Israeli gymnasts set to participate in the upcoming 2025 World Artistic Gymnastics Championships in Jakarta. This decision, announced earlier today in Lausanne, Switzerland, has sparked strong reactions across the globe, from government leaders to athletes and sports organizations, and is being described as one of the most serious diplomatic fallouts in modern sports history. What happened? The controversy began when Israeli gymnasts who qualified for the World Artistic Gymnastics Championships, scheduled for next month in Jakarta, were informed that their visa applications had been denied by Indonesian authorities. Indonesia, which does not have diplomatic relations with Israel, cited security and political reasons for the denial. However, the IOC viewed this as a direct violation of the Olympic Charter, which clearly states that no athlete should be discriminated against based on nationality, religion, or political beliefs. An IOC spokesperson said, "Sport must remain neutral ground. Denying athletes entry based on nationality goes against everything the Olympic movement stands for." IOC's response. Following days of emergency meetings, the IOC made the dramatic decision to suspend all ongoing and future international sports events in Indonesia until further notice. This includes not only gymnastics but also football, athletics, badminton, and swimming events scheduled under international federations. The IOC further announced that it would freeze discussions about Indonesia's potential bid to host the 2036 Summer Olympics. IOC President Thomas Bach stated in a press conference, "No Olympic or international competition can take place in a country that fails to respect the fundamental principle of equality among athletes. Indonesia's actions leave us no choice." Indonesia's reaction. The Indonesian Ministry of Youth and Sports expressed disappointment at the IOC's decision and argued that the country was acting according to its national policies and public sentiment. In an official statement, the government said, Indonesia supports the Olympic spirit but must also consider its foreign policy and the safety of all participants. However, many within Indonesia's own sports community have voiced concern that this move could damage the country's reputation and hurt young athletes who were preparing for international exposure. A member of the Indonesian Olympic Committee, speaking anonymously, said, "We worked hard for years to bring world championships here. Now, everything is on hold because of politics. It's heartbreaking." Global reactions. The global sports community has reacted strongly. Israeli officials called the IOC's stance a victory for fairness and true sportsmanship. European and American federations praise the IOC for defending the principles of inclusivity. Arab and Muslim majority nations expressed mixed opinions. Some supported Indonesia's right to make political decisions, while others urged keeping politics separate from sports. Former Olympian Nadia Comaneci wrote on X, formerly Twitter, "This is a sad day. Athletes should not pay the price for political disputes." Quote, "What it means for upcoming events. The immediate suspension affects several key competitions that were set to take place in Indonesia between late 2025 and early 2026, including the World Artistic Gymnastics Championships, Jakarta, the Asian Junior Athletics Cup, Surabaya, the FIFA U17 Development Tournament, Bali, various international swimming and badminton events. These events may now be relocated to other countries, with Japan, Singapore, and Thailand reportedly being considered as alternative hosts. Expert opinions. Sports analysts say this crisis highlights the growing clash between politics and international sport. Dr. Marcus Lee, a global sports law expert, explained, Greater than. The IOC's response is both firm and symbolic. It's sending a message to every country. You cannot host world sports and pick which athletes are welcome. He added that this incident could influence future Olympic bids, as the IOC now appears ready to impose strict conditions on political neutrality before granting hosting rights. The bigger picture. This situation is not entirely new. Similar issues occurred in the past when some countries denied entry to athletes from nations they didn't recognize diplomatically. However, the IOC has rarely taken action as strong as a nationwide suspension. Experts believe this may mark the beginning of a new era of accountability, where global sports bodies will take firmer action to uphold fairness and inclusion. Meanwhile, for athletes, especially young gymnasts who trained for years, this episode has been deeply disappointing. Many have taken to social media to express their frustration, saying that sports should unite, not divide. Conclusion. The IOC's decision to suspend sports events in Indonesia is being described as a historic turning point in global sports governance. It reinforces the message that the Olympic movement stands for equality and inclusion, not political interference. As the debate continues, the world of sports faces a critical question. Can the purity of competition truly survive in a world so divided by politics and ideology? Only time will tell, but for now, the eyes of the world are watching Indonesia, waiting to see whether it will change its stance and restore its place on the global sports stage.